Welcome. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Once again, my name is Yerry Silvestre, and I specialize in helping childcare business like you save thousands of dollars on taxes. I'm here to show you how to stop overpaying and start keeping more money on your pocket. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am and why I'm so passionate about this work. I'm an enrolled agent and I'm the co-founder of Expert Solution Tax and Financial Services. I work mostly with childcare providers because I know how hard you work and how confusing tax can be. Now, please, if you can answer in the chat, drop a thumbs up or a heart in the chat if you agree with me that not all tax preparer knows how to prepare taxes for childcare. Please drop it in the chat. Let me know if you notice that most of tax prepare, they don't know the rules and regulation about childcare business. Drop it in the chat, please. So let me tell you a quick story. I have one of my clients that have been running their childcare for over 5 years. She used our ebook and income and expense tracker. And let me tell you, she became a super confident and she became so expert that people thought that she was a tax expert. She got married and then the husband wanted to file the taxes with his regular account. So she was my client for over 5 years. But then the husband decided that she has to switch to his accountant. But when she went and filed the taxes with the accountant, next year I had to amend her taxes because the tax accountant or the accountant of the husband didn't know about the childcare business, didn't know about the regulation about childcare business. So that's when I said that not every tax preparer or every accountant, they can be very good at investment, stocks, cryptocurrency, but actually there's only a few that knows the ins and out of a childcare business. That's why I'm here and that's why I took this very personal and I decided to have my expertise in childcare business. If this is your first year in business or if you thinking about starting a childcare business or you're already in the childcare business, if you can drop it in the chat, please. Now, tax deduction are your best friend in business, but only if you know how to use it properly. Most providers are missing out major write-offs, not because they are not eligible, but because they are not tracking things properly. That's when we come in. Now, let's talk about the 7 most overlooked child care deduction. Tax deduction are your best friend, but again, only if you know how to track it properly. Now, let's go over the 7 most overlooked deduction for childcare providers. The first one is the time and space percentage. This one is a huge one and is totally unique for childcare providers. Most business don't qualify for this, but you guys do. This allow you to deduct part of your home expenses like the rent, if you own the home, the home mortgage interest, the utilities, because your home is also your workplace. Now, let me ask you guys real quick, who here actually know your time and space percentage or know how to calculate it properly? Here, you're going to learn how to track what is the time and the space percentage and why it's so important for your business. We also going to provide you with tools and resources for you to know how to calculate it properly. Now, let's dive in. Most provider either they don't know how about it or they just throw a random number and just guessing. And that can mean missing out at thousands of dollars every year. Now, here's the thing. The IRS actually has a specific form for this, which is Form 8829. This form is used to claim your home office expense, which is actually the other deduction that we're going to talk about, deduction number 3, home office deduction. In this form, you have to calculate the time and space percentage, and it's the key to filing it out correctly. If you don't know how to calculate it, it is super easy to mess up. So the form is a little bit complicated when you see it because it's require a specific number for you to take notes, like the square footage of your house, the square footage of the time that you spend in the business, and also the square footage of the part of the house that you use for your business regularly, and the time and space percentage. That's the result of the time and space percentage. But don't worry, here we're going to calculate that together, and we're going to show you a very important and useful tool for you that is going to help you not only calculate that amount, but also how to apply it to your expenses. Now, I'm going to give you a big picture, but if you want to help actually calculating your time and space percentage and making sure you're using Form 8829 the right way, I got something special for you. I created a VIP access bundle that include a 45-minute Q&A section with me, a full walkthrough on how to use the Smart and Income and Expense Tracker, and a full 2025 tax strategy for childcare provider ebook. Now, let's go over and talk about the home office expense that we already talked about it, but it's so important that we're gonna touch this topic again. This is where your time and space percentage access apply. So remember, early we talked about the time and space percentage help you calculate how much of your home you can deduct well. This is where you use it. For example, if you're paying $1,500 a month in a rent and your time and space percentage is 30%, you can potentially deduct $450 a month just for the rent. And that's not even counting utilities, internet, or cleaning supplies. But here's the key. You have to know what to count. For example, a playroom used in the day. If you think a playroom using for the business can be included in the time and space percentage or can be deducted. Say yes or not. Okay? Now, the hallway where kids walk through to go to the bathroom, to go to the playground, I say yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Your bedroom where no business happen. Can this be included in the time and space percentage? The bedroom where you sleep, where no business happen. Can this be included in the time and space percentage? No. Perfect. Most provider either underreport or don't feel confident claiming this type of deduction. That's why my VIP access, I go through real samples and show you how to enter everything into the smart tracker so that you are being confident and covered. Now let's go to the next deduction, which is the food program expenses. Let's talk about the food program expenses. This is one that a lot of providers either misunderstand or miss the deduction. Now, this is the confusion. A lot of providers think that the food program usually included in the income, but now the expenses, the food and the snack that you provide to your children is deductible, and you can deduct that amount, that expenses in your taxes, in your Schedule C. Even if you're part of the food program and receive reimbursement, you can still deduct the full cost of the food you provide. That means things like meal, snack, and drinks for the kids. Those are deductible, even if you're being reimbursed. Who here is part of the food program for childcare? Yes. Okay. Okay. No. Perfect. Okay. So the way that I'm gonna go out of topic, a little bit out of topic, but I think it's very, very important to clarify this topic. Now, the food program, they reimburse you for that money. You should include that money that is reimbursed to you as an income. But now, for the expenses, you're going to expense the full amount that you spend for your business, for your kids. I recommend all the time for you to have a separate bank account or expenses account just for your business. Don't mix your personal expenses. Like if you're gonna shop at Costco, Walmart, Sam, any of the any market, you're gonna use your business account to buy the product, the snacks, and the food for your childcare business. So in that way, the income is gonna offset the expenses. And most of the time, you spend more money in food than what they actually reimburse you. There's two methods for you to deduct the food expenses for a childcare provider. It's either the actual cost or the standard meal rate. The one that I just explained you, the one that I recommend is the actual cost, where you're gonna record your income and then your expenses. But you have to track it. And if you're not tracking or keeping up with gross and receipt, or you just estimating, you could be losing thousands of dollars. This is where the smart income and expense tracker become your best friend. It helps you to log your food expenses easily and even separate meals by type, breakfast, lunch, snack, so you don't miss anything. Inside the VIP access, I will walk you through exactly how to track this the easy way, so you don't have to have a headache at the end of the tax year. Okay, let's move on to the next deduction, which is the depreciation. Now, this next one is a big one, but also one that a lot of people skip because it sounds complicated. But trust me, it's not that complicated. As long as you're keeping track of your purchase, it's not that complicated. Depreciation is a fancy word for spreading out the cost of big purchase over time. So instead of writing off the whole expenses in one year, you can deduct a little each year. For example, if you buy a new fridge, couch, or computer for your daycare, or maybe even a furniture, appliance, or improvement to the home, those things can be depreciated even even if it's used for part of your home itself, can be depreciated if you use it for the business. The challenge is here that most providers don't know which item qualify and how to track them properly. And that means they miss out thousands of dollars over the year. That's why in the VIP access, I'll show you how to identify what qualifies for depreciation, how to enter in the smart tracker without IRS confusion. And I promise it's going to be easier than it sounds. It's going to be pretty easy. Let's go to the next tax deduction. This one is very used for you guys. If you have to spend money in CPR training, if you have to spend even this training, once you get the VIP access package, you can expense under training and professional development. Any training, any course that you take to improve your skill or to provide better service to your clients or to make your business bigger, it can be the expense, like a CPR certification, business coaching, and even books that you buy or material to help your childcare business. That's all deductible. Now, let's go to advertising and marketing. Another deduction that adds up at the end of the year. If you pay for flyers, your business card, a website, Facebook ad, or even to put a post in a newspaper, that's all deductible. Now, type yes or no in the chat if you've done any kind of advertisement this year. Even things like Canva or design tools to create your logo, your website, a flyer. But most providers forget to track all these expenses. All those expenses at the end of the year, it add up. Do any of you spend money on advertisement? Yes. Okay. So now you guys know. Now Why tracking expenses matters. So we just covered all the great deductions. We cover the time and space, the home office, the depreciation, the food expenses. We cover and we cover advertisement. So now this only work if you're tracking them. Most provider miss out just because they don't stay organized. To be honest, who's ever waiting until tax time to sort receive or go through the 12 month of bank statement? Please type guilty in the chat if you're not tracking as you go or you end up overpaying taxes, feeling stressed, or missing money that you deserve. Please type it in the chat if you wait for the last minute to go through your bank statement or you one of those that go to your tax preparer with a box of receipt. Or are you being organized and keeping up? Okay, perfect. So I see a lot of you guys that you guys are guilty of not keeping track properly or just feeling stressed over last minute filing or keeping organized with your receipt. But you're not alone. That's why we created a smart income and expenses tracker where you're gonna be able to go each month, each week, or even each day for you to track your key income and expenses properly. Let's talk about the common mistake childcare provider makes when tracking expenses. The first errors that the mistake that we make, the childcare provider makes when tracking the expenses is failing to keep receipt and documentation. You need to keep the receipt every time it's possible. Keep the receipt. One of the advice that I give to my clients is that they can create an email account just for expenses. Okay, just take a receipt, take a picture, and send that picture to that email. And you can forget about that email for the rest of the year. Now, at the end of the year, let's say at the end of 2024 that just ended, this January 1st, January 5th, you take all those emails that you sent to yourself and create a folder that said expenses 2024. And then the next year, you start fresh with 2025. Take a picture. Let's say you go to the 99-cent store, you buy a box of wipe or Lysol. Take a picture of your receipt, send it to your email address, expenses for 2025. Then at the end of the year, December 31st, January 1st, you take all those emails that you have in your inbox and send it to the folder that you create for expenses 2025. That's a great idea, right? Okay. So there's no excuse for you not to have the receipt. Now, if you end up being audited, like I said to Stephanie, you can recreate your books. You can recreate your expenses. How? With the food program. If they audit you for the food, you can always present the attendance sheet and also the bank statement. Okay, that's a good way to recreate that. Now, if they audit you because of home office expenses, be ready to explain to the auditors how you came up with that result of the expenses. You have to present them the 8829, the form that I spoke to you about that have to do with the time and space percentage, and you have to present the lease of your house or the mortgage statement, and how you deduct that part of the business deduction. Okay, the next common mistake the childcare provider make is mixing personal and business expenses. That's a big one. That's a big one. For childcare providers, it's very, very easy for you to mix personal and to mix business expenses. Why? Because most of the items that we use in the house, we use it for personal use as well. That's why I recommend you to have the business account and the personal account. If you want, you can go one day shopping for your personal stuff so you don't mix them with your business. Or if you rather make the purchase the same days, what you can do is have two bills, one for personal and one for business. In that way, it's a better way for you to categorize between business and personal. Okay, let's go back. Is waiting until tax season to organize records. That's another big one. Now, I have a lot of clients that wait the last minute to organize the tax record. They estimate things, they estimate expenses, and that's not good for two reasons. The first one, you can be over calculating, you can be taking deductions that you're not allowed to, or you can be fooling yourself, putting less money of what you actually spend. And that also will give you a lot of stress at the end of the year. So let's keep up for every month, keep track of your income and expenses so you can avoid stress during tax season. Because missing deduction results in paying more taxes than necessary. And when you're not organized, it increases stress and time spent sorting out through financial records at tax time. The good news is we got a system to help you avoid all that, and I'll show you how in just a minute. Now, the big question here, how to stay organized and maximize your tax savings. I know you guys are asking that question to yourself. How I stay organized and maximize my tax savings? I have good news for you. We have created the Smart Tax Income and Expense Tracker. It automates expenses categorizing. You can log expenses on their key tax deduction category, ensure you never miss any write-off. Real-time financial overview. While you add the information into the tracker, the Smart Tax Income and Expense Tracker will give you an overview of how the business is doing, the income and expenses. It will also, this is the big one, and I love this feature of the Smart Tracker. It will also give you a time and a space per center integration automatically. This will calculate your home-related deduction based on your business use. And let me explain this a little bit. You just need to know for how many hours a week your childcare business operate, the square footage of your entire house, the square footage that you use exclusively for the daycare, and the square footage that you use to share with your with your with your home, with your whole family. So how do I fix all that? You need a system simple and built specifically for childcare business. So this Smart Tax Income and Expense Tracker was built specifically for you, childcare providers. It's not for any other business. That's why we created the Smart Income and Expense Tracker. It is just more than just a spreadsheet. It's it's a behind the scene tax assistant. It has a chart of account designed just for childcare. A chart of account, it will have income through parents, the income, the reimbursement through the food program. It will have the expenses that apply to your business, and you only enter the income and expenses once, and it would automatically fill out your Schedule C. Yes, automatically, just with the information that you enter when you get your bank statement, you enter your information in the Smart Income and Expense Tracker, and it will automatically transfer the information to the Schedule C. It also includes the built-in calculator to figure it out the time and space percentage and send the number straight to Form 8829. So you don't have to have a headache when you trying to figure out what to enter in the Form 8829. No, you enter the information I just told you, the square footage of your house, how many hours a week you spend in the childcare business, and it will automatically calculate the information that is going to transfer to Form 8829 and your Schedule C. This tracker will take a weight off your shoulder. I'm telling you. This tracker was designed by us with over 10, more than 15 years working with childcare providers, and we decided to build this tracker just thinking about you guys, and it's unique. It's not for self-employment. It's not for contractor. It's not. No, it's just for you childcare providers. Now, now that you guys know about the smart tracker, this is your hand-on tools. I want to introduce you as well the 2025 tax strategy for childcare provider eBooks. Okay? It's like having me in your pocket. It's like you having me in your pocket here. Like, oh, and how can I track this? And what is an LLC? How I know when I have to file a Schedule C? What about if I'm an LLC single member? Do I have to file Form 1065 or 1120? Or what about if I have to depreciate? I have a new fridge. For how many years I can depreciate that item? That's why we created also the companion 2025 tax strategy ebooks. It will break down the why behind deduction, explain tax rule in plain English, and help you make a smarter financial decision as a business owner. So if the tracker is the tool, the ebook is the guide that will help you save more in your taxes. Now, here is a quick breakdown of what's inside the 2025 tax strategy for child care provider. In chapter number 1, you're going to be understanding your business structure. Explore the advantage and disadvantage of sole proprietorship and LLC, and discuss when it makes sense to transition to a different structure. So in chapter number 1, we set the mood for the entire book. Who is considered a Schedule C as sole proprietor? And when it is when is possible or when you should be considering to transition to an S corp or a corporation or a partnership or even a non-for-profit organization. In the book, chapter number 1, this is the first chapter where you're going to learn how to structure your business. If you're not in the childcare business yet, or if you're in the childcare business as a sole proprietor, when you should be thinking about transitioning to other business entity. Now, in chapter number 2, we're going to break down a step by step, part by part, the Schedule C. So this is like a guide. In chapter 2, we start with part 1, which is income, the income line. We're going to explore the advantage and focus on reporting gross receivable sale, okay, for your childcare business. You will learn the common income resources, the best practice, and the record keeping and a strategy to avoid common errors. Okay, we're gonna talk about how you're supposed to track the income, the grant money, the food program reimbursement, how to you can record the income that you receive through the child care council or subsidized programs, how you can track that, when you're gonna possible receive a 1099 NNC, when you may receive a 1099K. So all that information is in chapter number 2. Now, in chapter number 3, we're going to introduce the time and space rule For childcare provider, one of the most valuable tools for reducing taxable income. We already spoke about that, the time and space rule, and the income and expense tracker is going to have a calculation, but it's always good to have a base of and knowledge of what you're doing so that you better understand how the deductions work. That's why we created the income and expenses tracker, but we also are giving in the VIP bundle what is the 2025 tax strategy for childcare providers so that you can understand every deduction and everything that you're tracking in the income and expense tracker. Now, in chapter number 4, we're going to talk about the Schedule C, the part 2, which is expenses. In this chapter, we're going to go step by step with all the expenses that goes into a Schedule C and how to calculate all those expenses. In chapter number 5, page 2, we're going to explain what is the cost of goods sold for product-based business. Now, this chapter, for most of you, is not gonna apply for the business, but we explain what is the cost of goods sold because it's included in Schedule C, and it's the schedule that you're required to file as a sole proprietor or single member LLC. Just to give you a hint, a cost of goods sold is for those that keep an inventory. And since you're a service business, you're not keeping inventory. And we explain that in chapter 5. Now, in chapter 6, we're going to introduce the Smart Income and Expense Tracker, how to use this powerful tool designed to make managing your finance easier and more efficient. Chapter 7, we're going to talk about the strategy for minimizing self-employment taxes. Focus on understanding how to minimize self-employment taxes, which is a crucial factor in minimizing your earnings. I don't know if you guys know that as a self-proprietor, um, a Schedule C or single member LLC, and even partnership, you are required to pay self-employment taxes. And the self-employment taxes for every $1,000 that you have in income, you will have to pay $141 in taxes, in self-employment taxes only. Okay, so in this chapter, we will show you how you can reduce those self-employment taxes. Okay, and chapter number 8, audit proof for your childcare business. This chapter focuses on techniques to audit proof your childcare business by managing, organizing, and having compliant records. Just like the tools, the technique that I gave you earlier about the email, that you can create an email just for expenses, that you can also recreate what is your expenses through your bank statement and through the attendance sheet. Just like that, we have also others tips in chapter number 8 on how you can audit proof your childcare business. We don't have to wait until you get those letters of you being audited. We have to be ready in case of an audit every year. Okay, so don't wait for you to say, okay, I'm gonna have I just received the letter for an audit. No, what I want to accomplish with you guys is that once you get the audit, you're gonna say to the auditor, okay, come in, I'm ready, I have all the information, I have all my proof. That's our goal. Okay, now let's talk about the ultimate tax savings bundle. I know you guys waiting for this, so let's talk about it. So by now you can probably see that having the right tools make all the difference. The Smart Income and Expense Tracker help you stay organized and make tax prep easy. And the 2025 Tax Strategy eBooks walk you through everything step by step. So you know exactly how to maximize your deduction, but I wanted to go a step further and make sure that you have everything you need to save more, stress less, and feel 100% confident at tax time. That's why we created the Ultimate Tax Savings Bundle. It's a complete package designed just for childcare provider like you. Inside, you will get the smart tax tracker, income and expense tracker, so you're not scrambling at tax time. The 2025 tax strategy ebook, so you know exactly what to deduct. And we have a special offer for you guys today. The original price for the Smart Tracker, Income and Expense Tracker, the ebook 2025 ebook, the original price is $149.99. But now for the next 48 hours, it will be only $74.99. It's a 50% off, and you're gonna get immediate access. You can download immediately your tracker and your ebook. Remember, this is designed only for you, childcare providers. And this tracker and the ebook is not a monthly fee. You don't have to pay a monthly fee. It is one-time payment, okay? And the good thing about this is that you can use it right away. You can download it. Okay, the question that I always get, what if I can attend the VIP session live? No worries. You will get full access to the pre-recorded training and VIP section so you can watch anytime at your own pace. The next question is this a subscription or one-time payment? It's a one-time payment only. You get a lifetime access to the ebook and tracker. No monthly fee, no hidden charges. How long do I have to grab this deal? Only for the next 48 hours. Once the 48 hours is over, you will have to pay full price, $149.99. How do I get access? How do I access everything after the purchase? Right after checkout, you will be taken to the thank you page where you can instantly download your smart tracker and ebook. I always recommend once you download your e-tracker, save a copy because you're gonna be using one for this year and the next year you're gonna be using that another one. So save a copy of your e-tracker. You will also get an email confirmation with your downloads and the VIP Zoom meeting link for the live Q&A section. Now, I want to thank you all. And for those of you who have any question, you can post it in the chat. Go to the link, buy your tracker and your ebook. We also want to let you know that we are located in 110 Lake Avenue, Yonkers, New York. The name of our company is Expert Solution Tax and Financial Services. We've been in business for more than 20 years. I'm gonna post in the chat also, if you want to prepare the taxes for you, for your business with us, if you want us to keep your records, bookkeeping, or your accounting, or you need to establish a new corporation, S corporation, or you need any advice, any help, we're here to assist you. Now, thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Follow us on social media because we're going to have more webinar coming on soon. Thank you so much. And a lot of information, tax tip, tax strategy in our social media pages.